A warm welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. Now, if you follow the channel, you know that I recently acquired this Porsche 996 Gen 1 Aero Kit Carrera. So it's just a base Carrera that looks remarkably similar to a GT3, but it cost £18,000. And I personally think this may well be the best car that £18,000 could ever buy you. You know, generally, not necessarily this example, but you know what I mean. This Aero Kit Carrera. Hand breathe. It's got the lovely sport, what are they called? Sport Classic split rim Porsche alloys with the centre sections done in bronze, which is okay actually. I know some of you will be saying that's got to go. That's what I was thinking, but I'm warming to it. It's got the lovely, what are these called? Flip-flop things, you know, the old soles of the feet. When Danny first told me about these, I thought these are the naffest things ever. But now I really love them. I think they just give the car a little bit of character, and they're supposed to hide the little stretch bit on the exhaust. They build the back bumper up a little bit to the eye. I'm talking aesthetically here. Okay, now this may well be a very good example actually of a Carrera. I've had time to go through all of the paperwork on the car, and I think about 3 years ago, whoever owned this car invested quite a lot of money in it actually, and getting loads of things sorted out and getting loads of things done to a very high standard, which is great. And the paintwork is really nice, and yeah, the suspension's lovely and all that sort of thing. Unfortunately, I think whoever had it before that person and sort of decided they wanted to go non-stock with it, which is fine. A lot of people do that, and I get it, and I'm not going to be going fully stock. Just made a couple of dreadful decisions, and they went cheap. They went cheap on putting Alcantara in, and it's cheap Alcantara. It's padded. I can feel the foam. I can feel it. I can feel foam behind there. It's got this horrible feel to it. It's good Alcantara. Like that's a good bit of quality Alcantara. It has just this lovely feel. So they went cheap. We haven't got lighting, so it's all going to be very dark in there. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. What do you mean everywhere? I'm doing the Gary Oldman. Everywhere. Because there's so many bits. So there's Alcantara there. There's Alcantara there. Why'd you put it on there? Why? There's Alcantara there on that bit door. There's Alcantara there. I think there's Alcantara down the side there. There's Alcantara there. And it all annoys me when I touch it. There's Alcantara there. There's Alcantara here. There's Alcantara there. Every bit of it is cheap. And that really grates on me because it's all got to be done properly. The old saying, if you do it cheap, you do it twice or whatever. Not always true, as I pull some of you up on. But in this case, it is true because as soon as my hand touches that Alcantara, I get triggered in a bad way. And I just get angry because it just annoys me on a car like this that it would be done on the cheap like that. Something that's so important. Now, the problem is, right, that's I'm here to talk about all the problems and getting my head around it and how I'm going to break down sorting this out. Now, my phase one of sorting this car out is to get this dashboard sorted out first. Now, believe it or not, I calculate I have 11 jobs to do on this dashboard. 11, and they're not all easy. How can there be 11 jobs? Well, one, this binnacle's got to go because it's got this crud Cantara on it, or whatever you want to call it. Two, these silver bastards here have got to go. There's a lovely kind of display here, and then you chuck these silver things on it, which are, I'm pretty sure are aftermarket, because I can feel them. Although I wasn't 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure these are aftermarket, and this is a common upgrade. These things are just not good. And I was playing around with this one over here, and look how they're installed with like tape on them, and then there's all silicone all over the thing here. Why would you do that? You must really hate a car to do that to it. Just really hate it. I hate you. I'm going to stick this on you. It's like going to IKEA and like buying a cheap lamp that's got like the shade is made of paper. It's just low quality, and low quality like that is really annoying. So there's 2 jobs. That binnacle, sort this out. That's an easy job, isn't it? Well, it could be a nightmare because these don't feel like they want to come off easily. They really don't. And what am I going to have to do to get these off? What are the consequences if I break something? Here we go. This horn doesn't work. They've wired the horn into a button down here. Oh shit! Didn't expect that to go off. They've wired it onto a button down there. Like, you ever need to use your horn, you're going to be like reaching for those buttons and like opening up the sunroof or like, you know, turning the stereo on. But the place where it is doesn't work. So I don't know how you could live with that. How could you live with a bodge like that? I can't, unfortunately. The indicator doesn't lock when you go that way. Does lock when you go that way. So I'm going to take this off, get this unit out here, drill it or something. I think Graham told me it's what is it? It's riveted. So drill the rivets off, open it up, and you can either break it so it does the same thing both ways, which is the cheap fix, and that fix will be quite good because it will last forever. Or you can try and stop it, fix it, patch it up so it clicks, but it might not stay on. So if I can't bodge that, I've got to go and spend 400 quid to get a new one of those. No point buying a second-hand one of these, is there? Because it's going to be at the point of breaking like this one has. So there we go. So that could be a hell of a job. Second thing, one of you said this on my Instagram. I'm not over keen on this yellow line here, and I'm not over keen on the yellow Momo either. And I was looking, and I'm not over keen on the Alcantara actually. It's a little bit worn, this Alcantara. It's okay though. It'll clean up, and I'll stick this steering wheel on eBay or something like that. It's decent enough. But there's a black edition one, so I'll get a leather black edition one that's all black. There's black up there, and that will just look more Spitfire-y, rather than it's just a little bit. It's okay. I just want to do it once and do it properly. So there's another job. So horn, steering wheel. I've got to when I re-put the steering wheel back on, I've got to put it on an eccentric hub so that it raises it up slightly, which is Darren, one of the guys, has done that on his, and I noticed it and it felt a little bit weird, but because the turning circle is so good on this, so you turn so much for so little input, you could get away with that, and that's the only solution to lift this up so you can actually see the dials a little bit better, because it does block your view if you're quite big. So I've got to do that fix. Now, down here, in fact we can pull this out right now, it's had a centre console delete, and the centre console's all over there. But it's not been done properly, so there's just a bit of carpet in here. So look, that bit of carpet's just sort of sticking in there. So I could pull that out, actually, I could do that now. It's just tucked in. Yeah, I mean, there we go. So that's got to go. That's a floor mat, isn't it? Well, that's new carpet, don't know what that is, but that's no good. There's the original console. And the original console is obviously a double-din unit, and there's the lower part of the console there. And that's space grey surround. So it's got space grey surround on it. It's even got the original carpet. This all came with it. And it must have side bits as well, and these have been Alcantara-ed. So there's that cheap Alcantara. You can have a good look at that. It does have that. Look, it's got sponge on the back. Just nasty stuff, that is. Anyway, I don't need that bit of Alcantara, so that's good. So it should be space grey, the central console surround. Space grey is this colour here, which is like, it's like a matte or satiny, there's a bit of shine to it, isn't it? It's like a satiny finish, not a gloss finish though. So I think the guys put a new centre surround in, and you can probably see there that the top section's been rattle canned. You can see the texture on it. And then the bottom sections, those, you can see left, right, there's 4 little pieces. They come out and I can plug those in. They're the original space grey. So I need to find a space grey centre console surround, and I can't find one. In fact, there might be one on eBay actually. There might be one on eBay. Not sure if I could ever get that painted to match space grey, or I could take this and refinish it to a better standard, you know, sand it all back again, you know, primer it properly, and do a carbon effect or something. But then you start introducing a non-OEM look. Original carbon fibre would be nice. Anyway, that's got to be sorted out. This Stezza here is got to go. It's terrible. It's terrible. So we're going to go with an original stereo. We've got to have to put a blanking plate back over this horn like that. So I should imagine that's a job, but it's a cheap job. It's one of the jobs. We've got to unbolt this airbag module from underneath. I think there's some bolts under there. Get that plate out and replace that back with a leather one. Yeah, very interesting. So I'll get the dashboard all done first. I'm missing a couple of jobs as well. I've missed a few. There's more than I've said. I can't remember what they are, but there should be 11 jobs. Then we're going to have to buy a proper centre console delete, and that'll be when we've done the dashboard. We're moving on to phase 2. Phase 2 will be working on. The dashboard will be done, then we've got to sort all this bit out. Now these seats, these Recaros, they've got to go. I can see the appeal, you know, brilliant, but I'm just too big. I'm too big for them. I've said before, most of you guys, puny little, don't go too far, keep it humorous. Most of you guys don't have my muscles. I struggle to get in and out of these seats. Once you're in, oh, they're lovely. They don't give you backache either. I did the whole drive down from Scotland. No backache, but my arse was killing me. So yeah, they got to go. And I think I'm going to go with Recaro CS's. The centre console delete that you buy, Porsche sell one that you find on the GT3, so you can get a little bit of plastic that's wrapped in carpet. About 2 years ago, it used to cost 120 quid, and it's because it's only a bit of plastic. It's just like a little bit of plastic wrapped in carpet, 120 quid. Okay, well, you're making some money there. Good on you. It's gone up to like 400 quid in the last 2 years for some bizarre reason, because plastic must be in demand because of COVID. You know, and carpets are hard to come by. So it's gone up to 400 quid, which is ouch. That's like, you know, you're being robbed. But that's part of the whole Porsche thing, isn't it? A lot of people criticise, I'm new to all this, but people tell me that Porsche make a lot of money on their parts. But they're lovely cars, and this wasn't expensive, so there you go. But 400 quid for a bit of plastic, god damn it. I also need a little bit of, so that console, centre console delete will slide under there. There's a blanking plate, I think, that comes with it, that goes over this. Where the original centre console was, has just sort of marked that a little bit, but I can live with that. I think I can live with that. Yeah, it might you just need a clean. That's absolutely fine. This has all been trevored, as Martin would say. This has been really trevored. The short shift has been put in wrong, so it's cocked to the left, which is dreadful. That has to be sorted. And this cheap Alcantara has also been put onto this gear knob. However, a lot of effort was done to put all this on. To go to all that effort and to use such a cheap material is criminal. I was looking at replacing this and going, because it's got GT3 on it, which is a pet hate of mine. It's not a GT3, is it? It's a real pet hate. To go back to a stock Porsche thing, I thought, that's the handbrake. It's got what, about 80 quid, 100 quid? 2,400 quid I'm seeing for an original brand new Porsche handbrake. No thank you. Why? How can that be 2,400 quid? First car I bought only cost 60 quid. That came with a handbrake. And I'm talking about for the whole car, not 60 quid for the handbrake. The whole car was 60 quid. 2,400 quid for a handbrake. So what the hell am I going to do with this? It's probably, it doesn't feel like some cheapo one. If that is a GT3 one, that's probably valuable. But oh my God, that really bugs me. That really bugs me having GT3, but I might have to live with that and just, I might have to get this handbrake just retrimmed. It all comes off in little pieces, so it can all be retrimmed. It's been done poorly, but get it done properly. Even just get some high quality Alcantara and do it myself. I could even put stitching in it. See that stitching? It's all been done with the thinnest, cheapest red budget cotton rather than a real thick, high quality automotive one, which will cost the difference in price between that thin, cheapo one and a good one would be minimal. So the mindset to bodge that is just unbelievable. This has all been bodged. That's the cheap Alcantara, so that'll all be wrapped around the bottom. It's been done all right though. It's all been, I suppose you unclip all that, you see it hides all the cuts. It's all been done round here as well. So this whole centre console's got to come out to get it redone. Why would you take as well, I'm still ranting about this, high quality Porsche OEM leather and replace it with cheap Chinese foamy fake Alcantara? Why would you do that? Why? Let it go. The war's over, John. Yeah, so you just got, it's just all those little bits. You know, you can do this right, or you can just do it like this. Stick things in, put silicone in your car, go for the cheap stuff, do it all wrong, and just create work further down the line. Well, oh, that's interesting. One of you mentioned about an ashtray delete. I would be interested in doing that actually, if I could get a space grey one. I'm sure you could bloody paint this. There must be a way to match that space grey, and this would look good repainted, refreshed, but I'm worried an aftermarket paint is never as strong as that original paint, and even that original paint gets scuffed up and scratched up. So if you aftermarketed this, you might want to clear coat it, which I've done before. You follow the channel, I did my M3 door arms, took them all off, cellulose thinnered them off, painted, clear coated them myself. They look brilliant, and it just protects them from that. The clear coat protects them from the paint surface getting kind of worn away. So lots of work to do back here. Recaro CS seats going in. Probably going to keep, you know, if I get rid of all this black stitching, red stitching, which I'm doing, then there's no red theme in here, and I'll go with the black steering wheel, and I'll black it out. So I'll keep these black rather than getting any red kind of seat belts. If you went OEM and put sports seats in, you could get the hardback seats and put red backs on them, which I can understand would look really good, I think, in the flesh, and you could do the red centre console. But for me, and it's all personal preference, for me, I just think it would stick out a bit like a sore thumb, or a slightly a baboon's arse that's been slightly sawed. You know, it's glowing red. It just sticks out a little bit, and I'm going for that kind of darker thing. If you're going to go all black, not half. You want, you know, it would just look right. So there we go. Other than that, it's all pretty good. This is going to be a problem, isn't it? As well, it's going to be a problem. So I think these arms come off, and then I could reupholster them again. That might be an option, or sell them off. Do it. Oh, yes, Sam, look at that. Look at that. Who would do that? What the hell is that? What the hell is it? What the hell is that? Some aftermarket door thing. That's proper bad. But other than that, you know, I'm moaning. These are all tiny little things. Oh, that's bad as well. GT3 again, that's terrible. Yeah, because it's not GT3. So you don't have to try hard with this car. This car's a Gen 1 aero car that looks lovely. Why would you want to turn it into a replica of a GT3? Why? It's not a GT3. It doesn't have a Metzger engine. It's just a lovely car in its own right. And you don't need to project it as a GT3, in my opinion. Yeah, I know we've all got different opinions, but I just don't like that thing. You know, you could do a tribute to a car. You could make something look like something, but this already looks like a GT3, so it already looks great. You don't have to put GT3 badges and GT3 livery or whatever, GT3 gumph on it, because that's just a little bit tacky, isn't it? Put in the comments. We've all got different opinions. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just speaking freely, and everyone gets upset because someone will have one with a GT3 and they'll get the ump. Don't get the ump. I'm just giving you my thoughts. In here, I don't think there's too much to worry about. That's not normal. That's been bodged. Look at that. That's not. These are notorious. These little. Those are bolts with rubber bungs, and they fail. The rubber bungs sit on the other side. So for some reason, someone's put a plastic peg in there. The rubber bolt, the correct part is only like 8 or 9 quid, which is a rip-off again, because it's literally a bolt with a rubber bung that probably costs about 10p to make. So don't get me started on profit margins. That's a hell of a profit margin. So they break, and then someone's put like a plastic foot in there. I don't even know what's on the underneath. That's been chucked. That's the wrong part. Didn't sound too healthy. It's okay. Yeah, so again, I think with these sorts of cars, it's just a case of doing everything right. Don't use the incorrect part. It's going to bite you on the. It's going to bite you. Come back and bite you on the new. You know what? Just if a part fails, get a suitable replacement. Put it in. Just maintain it. That's the way I'm going to roll with it. Although I'll probably do some bodges as well. So don't quote me on any of that. There's the original centre console. That must sit within the centre console for something. There's a stereo sitting there or butt up against that or something. There's a spare bulbs there. That always comes in handy. I'll keep that. These can all be sold actually. I don't think anyone's going to want to buy that bit. It's got a set of Schroth racing harnesses. Harnesses are lethal, but John, they're going to keep you pinned into the car. Especially useful if you're driving around a motor circuit. If you're driving around a motor circuit, like say if I'm in this car and I've got harnesses on, and the harnesses go through onto the cage, and I'm strapped in this car, so I can't move, and I've got my racing helmet on, I go head first into a tyre wall or barrier or another car at 100 miles an hour with a crash helmet on and harnesses. What's going to happen? You're going to break your neck with the weight of the helmet just throwing you forward, like that pendulum effect. You're going to break your neck. Harnesses are dangerous. And again, people put them in the cars because they think they're racing equipment and I'm going to be racing and I need to be harnessed in because I'm a serious guy. You're going to break your neck. So the car's stock restraint system is much more intelligent than a set of harnesses. Don't get me wrong. If you're racing, you're going to be wearing harnesses, but you're going to have, someone put this in the comment, the hands device on the back of your helmet and your back to support it, so you're not going to break your neck. But who's going to want to put a hands device on when you're driving around in this on the road with harnesses, or on a track day? It's too hardcore. So use the stock restraint system, and really you should be cautious. You should be very cautious about modifying this and removing the stock airbag. And you should even be very cautious about modifying seats, really. I don't know if those have got explosive pretensioners in them. I don't know much about these Porsches. But you need to be careful when you're playing around with the stock safety equipment on a car. And harnesses are not as safe as people think they are. You will break your neck, especially with a racing helmet on. So, lots to do on this Porsche, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to start applying fixes to my car and spending a lot of money. Well, it's not a lot of money, John. It's not a lot of money. The binnacle for the indicator stalk, 400 quid. The replacement steering wheel, 300 quid. The centre console delete replacement thing, 400 quid. Well, there we go. There is 1,100 quid for 3 parts. Boom. And I've only just got started. We've got 11 jobs to do. We've got a lot of money. The seat's going to be about 3 grand. This is why, a lot of the reason why, and it's a valid reason, when you're buying cars, a lot of people don't want to go near cars that have been modified in any way. Oh, little modifications are all right, you know, here and there, you know, whatever. But that have been heavily modified because a lot of it isn't really suitable. And you know, it will never be done to your choice, and getting it back is a lot of work, and people don't want all that work. It's a lot of expense as well. But for me, the car was so lovely, it doesn't bother me at all. You know, I love doing it, but I can't get around the expense. The expense is going to be hard on the old wallet. It's getting hard in the hands of a long-time man. So there we go, guys. Hope you find the video useful. There's some other bits in here that I need to go through. I think there's a stock rear brakes. There's no pre-tensioners on these rear ones. So sometimes these things are connected, more modern ones, and they're connected to the restraint system, and they fire like ball bearings in them, which like can lock them. And sometimes you get explosives in the pre-tensioners here, so there's like an explosive, and it fires and pulls a cord and shortens it. So as well as the airbag going off, it pulls you in, and that pulling in will activate the seatbelt as well. So there's less of a shock of you going forward and the seatbelt locking. It sort of pulls you in before you get a chance to launch. What else was I going to talk about? The vast amount of money I've got to spend. No, it's gone. Couldn't have been that interesting. Oh, well, I don't know where the seats are, the rear seats, because it's got rear seat deletes in it, and it's got the cage. I like the cage. It's interesting, isn't it? So the look I'm going for is perhaps going to be cage, Recaro CS's, centre console delete, probably with space grey centre to keep the stock theme. It's all space grey here and round there, so we'll keep that stock look. Leather rather than Alcantara on the steering wheel. Leather all back over the dash, and perhaps the easiest option might be to reupholster in high quality Alcantara where it's been done in low quality Alcantara, and get that short shifter sorted as well. Jesus. Oh yeah, also going to go Black Forest Industry gear knob, which is going to look wicked. You know, the stock ones are okay, but we're not doing a full stock look. We're doing a slightly modded look. The decision would be the cage. If I got rid of the cage, then I'd go back full stock. There's either full stock or slightly ricey. I'm going to go slightly ricey. Slightly spicy, slightly ricey, all good. So let me know your thoughts, guys. That horn, getting that horn to work on that central Mod 7 steering wheel is going to be a bummer. It's going to be a bummer. That's going to be a real bummer. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a reason that's been bodged on one of those buttons. I think that it's going to be a bummer to get that to work. But we'll get there. Okay. Adios, amigos. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow our Porsche journey. What's going on with the detailing side? Well, we'll do full details on this car. What's going on with the detailing side? We'll have to get another, we'll get another best of video on the go as well, although I don't want to cloudy the water. There's nothing worse than having like 20 products all along here, all test equipment, and I'm running like a best of video that's going to go on for 2 or 3 months. Oh, I need to go to the toilet. Quick. And you're trying to strip your car down. You've got nowhere to put all the bits and pieces, and that gets me frustrated. And you know what I like when I get frustrated. I'm not good. So yeah, I like one thing at a time. One thing at a time. Take care. Great to see you. Bye for now. Doug.